The markets are starting to thaw, and some of our favorites are starting to get deeper in the green. We're going to talk XRP price along with a big hearing today that you need to be aware of. Crypto news, along with more from the SEC.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
We got lots of big news to cover today, and look at ADA making a move as there's an ETF filing. I'm telling you, the ETFs are going to bring some legit money into the cryptos other than BTC. Well, BTC already has one. But before we get into news, I know there's a lot of it. Your comments come first. Hot, spicy, naughty, relevant. Maybe share it beginning of the next video. Homies love it. Says, I want a crypto with Klaus sticker to put on my truck. Something juicy. That's a freaking amazing idea. A bumper sticker, something that says choo choo bitches. Let me know down below if you'd be interested in something like that. I actually dig that idea. Johnny Crypto Seed says, you were just so good and so entertaining. I'm going to hit that subscribe button. Ooh, I like it when you hit it. I've been watching you for the last month and have half love it. Choo choo bitches. That's right. I'm working hard to earn your subs. Even while on vacation, we're trying to get to 40,000 this month. Tony Palmer, channel member, thank you very much for your support, sir. Says, I used to think Austin Hilton was spot on. Not anymore. Klaus, you are playing chess. Austin is playing checkers. You are on a level that other clowns can never reach. Thank you. Well, thank you, Tony, for the kind comments. Yeah, I don't bring you the BS like, oh my God, we're going to 40,000. Remember all those morons pumping the whole $40,000 buyback? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Bitcoin's now, screw Bitcoin. ETH sitting at 2659, XRP 247. We're going to talk about now. Check this out. Look at Sweet, XLM, Litecoin, ADA, BNB, Caspa, Tau, Render. They're all coming back deeper in the green. When we take a broader look at cryptos, you're starting to see more in the 7-day period pop up green here. Even look at Litecoin, up 22% last 7 days. Golf clap. Golf clap. But let's get into news that you need to know. U.S. lawmakers are to chart crypto's next chapter in crucial hearings. That's right. We have a big hearing today, all right, titled The Golden Age of Digital Assets. This hearing is going to be 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I'm not going to be broadcasting the hearing. Normally I do, but I will have it linked down below so that you can watch it if you're interested. It's the Committee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and Artificial Intelligence. Witnesses for this, Jonathan Jacob, Ji-Hun Kim, Coy Garrison, Jose Fernandez de Pont, and Mr. Timothy Masad. You might want to watch this one because I think this is going to be the best hint, the best idea of what it looks like going forward, right? Because we want to see how does this new session of Congress tackle digital assets. Litecoin all-time high in sight as ETF approval odds hit 90%. So we've been talking about it. Litecoin is making yet more of a run. In fact, let's look at the 7-day. This is what I'm talking about here. So like, it's going to take time. I know a lot of these players are like, yo, it's going to be soon. I just don't think it's going to be as soon as they say. I think they're being optimistic. I'm being realistic here and thinking, hey, we still got some time. But how does crypto work? It's buy the rumor and sell the news. And the rumor right now is that they are going to get approved. Hence the nice run up here of almost 30%. Oh, baby, baby. And even look at the volume of Litecoin, up 44% to 1.92 billion. Fox Business journalist Eleanor Tourette says the Federal Reserve is slowly warming up to BTC and crypto. All right. Federal Reserve. We talked about the Titanic and steering the Titanic. The Federal Reserve is the frickin' pilot of the Titanic, the captain. Remember when inflation was starting to get bad in the United States, and we were like, Jerome, you have to start raising rates. And he's like, nah, we're okay. Inflation's transitory. And we're all like, no, dude, for real, this is going to be super bad. And he's like, nah, we're cool. And then all of a sudden, Jerome's late to the party, and what does he do? He drops a 75, 75, 75. 3 times in a row, drops 75 hit. Why? Because he was behind. Like I said, slow. Now, look at what Jerome has been with the rates. You've seen the ECB lower rates. You've seen Canada lower rates. You've seen a whole bunch of countries and zones out there lower rates, and Jerome is still behind here in the United States. But so now, right, the same idea, right, of it takes time to steer the Titanic. Jerome Powell and the Fed are finally coming around. Listen to this. The narrative around crypto is changing at the Federal Reserve. This is from Eleanor Tourette. I'll have this link down below as well. In a pair of speeches on Friday, Republican Fed governors Michelle Bowman and Christopher Waller signaled a more open stance digital assets in the future in the financial system. Their words are notable because number one, Trump will likely choose one of them to replace Michael Barr as the next vice chair for supervision, which oversees the regulation. And number two, they represent a shift in tone and attitude as they both voted previously for policies that made it harder for banks to engage with crypto. Oh, they also both voted against Custodia's bank application to become a member of the FDRS, right? The Federal Reserve System. So this is big. It's a big shift in the Fed. But like I said, it's all about it just taking a lot of time. And the Fed is always going to be behind. As long as I can remember, the Fed is going to be behind. At the Wisconsin's Bankers Association Bank Executive Conference in 7, both governors issued pro-crypto speeches expecting openness towards the adopting of the nascent industry. For instance, Bowman critiqued the past handling of technological innovations like crypto. The Republican governor emphasized the need to create a clear regulatory framework. I'm highlighting this because as you see the Fed shift and as you see the policy shift, right, which we got that hearing, which don't worry, it's linked down below so you can watch it, you're going to see the Titanic start steering in a different direction to avoid the iceberg. Now, this stuff isn't going to be as fast as you think. I know it's going to be faster than it was because you're going to have more of a pro-crypto regime in the hood, right? But it's still going to take time because there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape within the United States government. All right, crypto volume still a little bit on the low side. I know we're up 34%, but 24-hour volume for crypto right now is right around 109 billion. Nothing too crazy with that. In fact, we've seen kind of a lull leading into Super Bowl Sunday. This week has been kind of quiet. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for CPI data. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out, because guess what? I'm going to be doing a video on CPI data because, yes, it is something that we need to pay attention to heavily. Now, let's look at Jeremy Hogan. This is what Jeremy Hogan says. The approval can happen fast, but then the S1 has to be approved, etc. So I'm thinking more like 8 to 12 months. So you're going to have some preliminary approvals for the XRP ETFs, and then you're going to have some secondary stuff and some launches. It is going to take time. So be very careful out there because there are different types of approvals and the launch can follow after. The Litecoin one was launched, God, I think the Litecoin one was launched in October or November. And here we are in, hold on, Garmin. Here we are in February, still waiting on that action. Now, XRP is starting to thaw with price as well. We're right now sitting at $2.46, volume 4.5 billion. I'm happy with that. Look at the chart though, right? Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and now we're pushing our way on up. Now look at the 7-day, and you'll see what I'm talking about, right? You saw, again, a little bit of softness here, and we've been working our way, inching our way on up. And as Litecoin has gotten the nod for the ETFs, okay? We're going to start seeing the same thing with XRP. Latest odds had XRP ETF approvals at about 70%. And that's really, really good. But again, it's going to take some time. So just watch out for the clickbait out there. Oh, it's going to be approved. Just because the first part gets approved right away doesn't mean it gets launched right away. Now let's zoom on into those candlesticks and see if anything pops out at us. I'm going to let you know where my alert zones are. I already set them this morning when I woke up, so I thought I'd be fair and share it with you. I like this. I'm happy with this, okay? You zoom out just this little bit here. Are we at the $3 mark? No, we're not. You saw the massive amounts of buying. By the way, it was the Korean market that did the majority of this buying here. February 2nd and the 3rd, right? Sunday into Monday. That was the Korean markets pumping up. So the Korean markets are heavily in the profit zone. So be careful, right? Because when it comes to profit taking, what you need to pay attention to is this right here. This pairing with Upbit, the Korean won pairing, that is something you gotta watch. Because if we start watching this right here, start going on an uptick where that volume starts surpassing, say, Binance's USDT pairing, that's going to give us some hints on what's going on. And remember, the XRP Korean won pairing is what pulled XRP out of the red from Sunday, Bloody Sunday. Now, zooming in, what can we see? Well, we've gotten a little bit tighter in the range. You can see near term, right? We tried, right? We kind of got a little bit over the 250. We got to a high at 252.90. So right now I've got my alert set at 255 on the high side. And I'm looking right now at 230 on the low side. The reason I'm looking at 230 is because just a couple days ago, look at these candlesticks right here. See what I'm saying? A low at 231 on this one and a low at 232 on that one. So I'm kind of still in that tight range. 25 cents or so within that. But I want to pay attention because I don't want to miss out on any nods that come from the SEC. Oh, and speaking of the SEC, there are two people that we're waiting for right now to get approval in terms of the congressional approval, right? The head of the CFTC and the head of the SEC. So if you wonder why things are so slow and why the market's been kind of boring lately, it's because we're waiting for Congress to do their thing. And like I shared with you earlier, the United States is just steering the Titanic, and Homegirl is super slow and often runs into icebergs. Do I got any old school Mario fans in the house? How about some homebrew action up on the screen? Sorry, it's over here. Now, the reason I'm bringing up the hearings and the crypto hearings, it's for this big reason. Do you remember when the last session was in when Patrick McHenry was the head of the House Financial Services, and we are all like, "Oh yeah, we finally got someone in who's going to do something." He didn't do jack shit, did he? He didn't subpoena Gensler. All he did was threaten. And what happens when you threaten people and you don't follow through? They keep doing it, right? I mean, most of us have been parents or we've been bosses, manager leads, whatever you want to call it. And it's like, you got that kid that keeps screwing up, and you're like, yo, Timmy, if you keep screwing up at school, I'm going to take away your Xbox. And Timmy's like, okay, mom. And then you're like, oh, Timmy, I saw that you got another bad test. And maybe it's Timmy. I don't know. Maybe it was a kid, right? And Timmy doesn't do so good. And you're like, one more time, you screw up one more time, I'm taking that Xbox away for a week. And Timmy's like, yo, mom, seriously, like, whatever. So then Timmy comes home again next week, another bad grade at school. And you're Timmy, yeah, you see what I mean? So if all you do is threaten but don't follow through, you know what's going to happen. Those people are going to do whatever they want. And that's what we saw with the previous regime, right? That's what we saw with the previous Republican led House of Financial Services. Now let's see what happens with this group. And the reason this one's going to be a little bit different is because you've got control of the House, you have control of the Senate, and you have control of the presidency. But the problem that I have with all this is they're still taking their sweet ass time. They're still dragging their feet. We're still waiting for confirmation hearings. We're still sitting here going, so you guys haven't figured out what regs you want to do yet? And in fact, we even heard Maxine Waters blabbing her mouth yesterday going, oh, no, no, no. You should use our version of the bill that was submitted years ago because the federal government would have. Come on now. You mean the same federal government that's slow with everything, the same federal government that wastes money, the same federal government that can see an iceberg ahead of it and it's like, I don't know if I want to steer out of the way. Maybe the iceberg will thaw. See what I'm saying? So the hearings are going to be big, and this one's going to be setting the tone. The other big thing that I'm keeping my eyes open for, and this is the big one, it's CPI data. I got to be real with you. If we get another month going up, it's not necessarily going to bring the market into red, but what's going to happen is this: the oomph, right? The power of CPI and inflation will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So if you have one bad month of CPI, a little market reaction, right? 2 months in a row of bad market reaction. Okay, it gets a little bit bigger. 3, 4, 5, 6. You see what I'm saying? So if all of a sudden inflation just starts becoming a runaway freight train again, well, guess what? Then macros are going to start really ruling the roost quite heavy. So we need CPI data to come on down. Ideally, we want 2.5. 2.5, 2.6 or lower. And trust me, when that news breaks, I'll be able to share it with you. So make sure you don't miss out because, of course, even on vacation, I'm bringing you the news. Now, channel announcement to be fair with everyone. And if you're watching right now, I know you're a mega fan, so you'll appreciate this. On Thursday, I am most likely going to take the entire day off, spend the time with my family, my doggies, and probably even take off from training too, because I am completely worn out from busting my butt up here at Elevation. So, choo choo bitches bumper sticker? Let me know. Choo choo bitches.